In this video, we will discuss about inverse trigonometric functions basics. We can just recall the first PUC concept that all the 6 functions with domain and range. We have studied about these functions in first PUC. Now, moving to the concept of second PUC, which is inverse of trigonometric functions. As we have studied in the first chapter, which is functions, we know that a function is invertible if and only if it is 1, 1 and onto. But when it comes to the sine function, as we know, the domain takes all the real numbers and the range is closed interval -1 to 1. If we reverse it, domain will become -1 to 1, that's okay, but the range is set of all real numbers. When you take the range as set of all real numbers, there will be a problem. What is the problem? In the case of real numbers, the function cannot be 1, 1 because as we know, sine function is repeating its answers, repeating its values after one round or after certain value. In that case, the function won't be 1, 1. So what we have to do is, we cannot take the real number as the range. Instead, if we restrict the domain to the closed interval -π/2 to π/2, then it becomes 1, 1 and onto, and range -1 to 1 is not a problem. So sine function restricted to any of the interval like -3π/2 to -π/2, -π/2 to π/2, or even 3π/2 to π/2, etc. In all those cases, it will become 1, 1 with range -1 to 1. So we can define the inverse of sine function in each of these intervals. And we denote the inverse of sine function like this, and we read it as arc sine functions or sine inverse function. So sine inverse is a function whose domain is closed interval -1 to 1, and the range could be any of these intervals, and so on. It can continue. Here we will take the branch with closed interval -π/2 to π/2, which is called as principal value branch. Other intervals as range gives different branches. But what we do is, we will basically take -π/2 to π/2 as the principal branch. Therefore, we can define sine inverse as a function from the closed interval -1 to 1 to the closed interval -π/2 to π/2. So -1 to 1 will be the domain, and this is called as principal branch. And from the definition itself, we can see that sine of sine inverse x, if you take sine and sine inverse together, we get it as x, the value itself, when x lies between -1 to 1. And even sine inverse of sine x, that is also x, and the value lies between -π/2 to π/2. Or in other words, we can say that if y is equal to sine inverse x, we generally say it as we can take sine to the left side, that is sine y is equal to x. So this always holds good. Now, in the first PUC, we have seen the graph of sine x. So this is the graph of sine x. It starts with 0, rises till π/2, and come down to 0 at pi, and it will go to negative values till 2 pi and goes on. And if you take the inverse sine functions graph, as you can see here clearly, from -π/2 to π/2, we have a thick line here. That means this will be a branch. This is actually the principal branch. You can take the other part also, that won't be principal branch, that is also some other branch. So this is the graph of sine inverse x. Like sine function, cosine function is a function whose domain is set of all real numbers, and range is the set -1 to 1, the closed interval -1 to 1. So again, if you restrict the domain of cosine functions to 0 pi, then it becomes a bijective function. So actually, cosine function restricted to any of the intervals -π to 0, 0 to pi, or pi to 2 pi, etc., is bijective with the range closed interval -1 to 1. So we will define cos inverse as the closed interval -1 to 1 to the closed interval 0 to pi. Here domain is closed interval -1 to 1, and range will be the closed interval 0 to pi. Again, we can see the graph of cos x here. Start from 1. When cos 0 is 1, it will come down till pi by 2. It will come down to pi and then rises like this. And if you see the cos inverse x, as I told you here, from 0 to pi, we can see a thick line here. That means the principal branch is 0 to pi. Now we can write the table of all other inverse trigonometric functions as below. Sin inverse we have seen already. Cos inverse we have seen already. Cosec inverse, it will take, domain is same, similar to range of cosec inverse. It is r minus open interval minus 1 to 1. And the range will be minus pi by 2, similar to sin inverse, but except 0. 0 cannot be taken. Secant inverse, same thing like secant, same domain. The range of secant will be the domain of secant inverse. Whereas range is 0 to pi, similar to cos inverse, but we cannot take pi by 2. The reason is simple. When you take pi by 2, the value of cos is 0. Secant is reciprocal of cos, so it will become not defined. Same thing works with cosec inverse also. When it comes to tan inverse can take the real number values as domain. It can take all the real numbers, and the range is minus pi by 2 to open pi by 2, minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, which is the open interval. Cot inverse are real number to open interval 0 to pi. So this is the table, and we should remember these values because we may get some questions related to this in the exams. Now let's take some simple examples. First example, we have to find the principal value of sin inverse 1 by root 2. What we do is, we will take this sin inverse of 1 by root 2 as y. Then, as we know, we can take sin to the right side, so it will become sin y, and the value is 1 by root 2. And as you know, the range of principal value branch of sin inverse is minus pi by 2 pi by 2, as we have discussed earlier. And sin of pi by 4 will be 1 by root 2. So these are the trigonometric tables. If you want to know more about these values, I have made a video on this. We can see it by clicking the I button. Now, sin pi by 4 is 1 by root 2. Therefore, we can say that principal value of sin inverse 1 by root 2 is pi by 4. Or simply we can say, if you know the value of what value of sin is 1 by root 2, that angle will be principal value. Similarly, if you take the principal value of cot inverse minus 1 by root 3. Now, we will take cot inverse minus 1 by root 3 as y. And if you take cot to the right side, you will get cot y is equal to minus 1 by root 3. Keep minus as it is. We have to see the value for 1 by root 3 in cos. As we know, cot and tan are reciprocals. Cot of 1 by root 3 will be tan of root 3. And tan of the root 3 value will be with the angle 60 degree or pi by 3. So we can write this as cot of pi by 3. Always remember, we should write this value in the same ratio which is given. We cannot take the other ratios. If it is cot, we have to take it as cot only. Now, as we know, when you have minus in cot, when you take that minus inside, it won't be just minus, it will be pi minus this value. So cot of pi minus pi by 3. As you may remember, this will happen with cot, cos and secant. For all those three values, this will happen. When you take minus inside, it will become pi minus. We have studied this in first PUC. So cot of pi minus pi by 3. As you know, pi minus pi by 3 is 2 pi by 3, and the principal value branch of cot inverse is 0 to pi, and cot of 2 pi by 3 will be the value of minus 1 by root 3. Therefore, we can say principal value of cot inverse minus 1 by root 3 is 2 pi by 3. So in the next question, we have to find the principal value of tan inverse minus 1. We do same thing. We will proceed similar to the last problem. We will take tan inverse of minus 1 as y. Then tan y will be minus 1. We will keep minus outside and see for 1. Tan of 45 degree or tan of pi by 4 is 1. So we will write it as minus tan pi by 4. And we know when you take minus inside in tan, it will become just minus. So minus pi by 4. This will happen with sin, tan and cosecant. So in all those three cases, if you take minus inside, that will be just minus value. We won't get pi minus in these cases. So tan of minus pi by 4. And we know that range of principal value branch of tan inverse is minus pi by 2 pi by 2. Therefore, tan of minus pi by 4 is minus 1 as we know already. Therefore, the principal value of tan inverse of minus 1 will be minus pi by 4. Let's take one more example. This is the principal value of secant inverse 2 by root 3. Here what we do is, secant inverse is not so easy for us. So what we do is, we will change it to cos inverse. When you take cos inverse, as you know, cos inverse will be, or cos is reciprocal of secant. If you just replace the value, instead of 2 by root 3, we can write it as root 3 by 2. So cos inverse root 3 by 2 will be y. Then cos phi will be root 3 by 2, and we know that root 3 by 2 is cos of pi by 6 or cos of 30 degree. So cos pi by 6 will be root 3 by 2. Therefore, we can write principal value of secant inverse 2 by root 3 is pi by 6. Now let's take one more simple example. We have to find the values of following. In that first one, we have to find the value of tan inverse of minus 1 plus cos inverse of minus 1 by 2 plus sin inverse of minus 1 by 2. Now, we know that tan inverse of 1 means we have to see for which value of tan we get the answer as 1. As we know, that is 45 degree, so it is pi by 4. Cos inverse, as I told you, when you have minus inside cos inverse, we have to start with pi minus. So it is pi minus what value of 1 by 2? What value of cos will give you 1 by 2? It is pi by 3, which is 60 degree. Plus, as you know, when you have minus inside sign, it will be just minus. So sin 1 by 2. What value of sin will give you 1 by 2? Which is 30 degree or pi by 6. So when you simplify it, as you know, we have to simplify this. It is 3 pi minus pi, which is 2 pi by 3. Take LCM, 12 is the LCM, and when you simplify, you get the answer as 9 pi by 12 or 3 pi by 4, which will be the required answer. Now for the second one, we have question like cos inverse of half plus sin inverse of half. Cos inverse of half. What value of cos we get half? It is pi by 3. And for what value of sin we will get half? It is pi by 6. This is 60 degree, this is 30 degree. And when you simplify this, we get the answer as pi by 2. So which will be the required answer. So in the next video, we will discuss about some properties of inverse trigonometric functions. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel.